Because right now, protesters are gathering outside of the legislature building in Queen's Park to protest the Doug Ford. He's trying to grab another 7 months of lockdowns, of emergency order status. 7 months in one go. The rest of this year is what he's aiming for. And right now, apparently they are in there voting on this. And, well, many of us think that it very strongly must be shot down. We cannot allow this. 7 months, like seriously? 2 months to flatten the curve is now, a year and a half later, turned into a 7 month at once power grab. This is so wrong. So wrong. And we need so many people out here. Why are we so complacent? Why is there not 100,000 people out here? Do we not even realize what Ford's doing? Do we not realize literally 7 months he wants to extend the emergency orders for the rest of this year? A 7-month grab at once. Seriously? Is anybody buying this? Well, I suspect this protest is going to go on for a while, so if you're able to get down here, join us. We're at the south end of Queen's Park and the front doors of the legislature building. No more lockdown. So yeah, the protesters here so far have been chanting, "Kill the bill, no more lockdowns." Because come on, y'all gotta feel it by now. There's something terribly wrong with this story.
Should I put it on here?
Sure.
You want to try?
No, I'm saying you.
Oh no, hold it for a minute. Looks like people are about to lock arms.
Kill the bill! Kill the bill! Kill the bill! Kill the bill! Kill the bill!
Cool gesture. Locking arms in solidarity. Very powerful, symbolic move. We've got peace officers over there just keeping the peace. Not really being involved for any reason. There's no reason for any involvement, so that's very good. Yeah. Yeah, let's do it, yeah. Let me go in right here. Very cool. Act of solidarity.
They're the most famous freedom fighters.
Very diverse group that all together believe in the same thing. Freedom. Yeah. Trust in the Lord, not Doug Ford. That's the chant. What's up, Mukesh? Let's hear what this man has to say.
Listen up, guys.
Freedom does not exist. As a South American, I know this. Because if you think you're free, you must be dumb. Freedom does not exist. The only thing that exists is your will. Your will in what you believe your life should be. I moved to this country because I wanted more. 30 years later, 32 years later, I find that the best country in the world is turning into one of the worst countries in the world. One of the worst countries in the world. I'm ashamed to call myself Canadian. I left my country so long ago. Proud to be in a place where I was looked upon as equal most of the time. But what's going on now is beyond religion. You need to understand this. If you believe in God, God only helps people that help themselves. You have to help yourself first before God will do anything for you. At 9 years of age, I had to march down with millions of people down to the Capitol, to the palace, to lynch a president that did not take care of his people. This will not happen here because Canadians are too docile. I've turned into a docile man, but all I have is my voice left. Canadians need to wake up. You are so docile to your own detriment. This is why we are still locked up in this city. I'm sure police officers would love to help people that help themselves.
That's right.
Just like God. But if you don't help yourself, if you don't stand up for anything, then you're nothing, regardless of the position that you hold inside there. You have kids. You have grandchildren. And same with the people out here and these officers. You have not shown us one smidget of proof about everything that you're doing here. This sounds very familiar to what's going on in my country. Isn't it sad that I'm from Venezuela, a country where so many sanctions have been placed on it by this prime minister here? Because Venezuela is supposed to be full of governments that are just tyrants. Are you listening to this? Many sanctions are placed on Venezuela by the prime minister of this country.
That's right.
Because he thinks that the Venezuelan president is a tyrant, that he kills his people. But look at what's going on here. Nobody hears about Venezuela anymore.
That's right.
Which my family's happy to not hear. That the whole world is talking about Venezuela. Because something else is going on. Something a lot more sinister.
Yeah, the world stopped talking about Venezuela. Notice that. Yeah.
Nobody's talking about Venezuela anymore. But the Prime Minister has just become exactly by what he's supposedly hates.
That's right.
People need to stand up in there.
That's right. Hypocrisy at its finest.
Whatever country you are, whatever religion you hold, this is beyond that. It's about humanity in general. No indemnity for these companies. How is it possible? How is it possible that you have these clinics out here?
There we go. Everybody's listening to this man talk about his experiences leaving Venezuela, coming here for freedom, and then finding himself in the same position again. This is a common sentiment with a lot of the protesters that come here. They're either from Eastern Europe or South America, and they've already gotten a taste of this type of tyranny. And so they were easily the first triggered last year, more so than other populations like the ones that are more native to Canada, because we don't really have that kind of history to look back on. Whereas places like even Quebec has more of a sort of French Revolutionary type history, and you saw how they reacted. But in Ontario, we don't have a strong. Yeah, we're docile, just like he's saying. Oh, Randy Hillier, everybody. Interestingly enough, speaks out.
The vote has started.
The vote has started.
We've got 30 minutes. No, I've
People can hear you.
Yeah. They're excited to see you, Randy.
I've got a cigarette going. I'll yak in a minute. But
Yeah.
anyway, thank you all for being here.
Hold it up for him.
Thank you all for being here.
Thank you. Yeah.
Why can't he show his face?
There we go, Randy. Talking to them.
Squeeze,
You gotta squeeze the thing.
We love you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a beautiful sunny day in communist Ontario. And let's stress that, under communist Ontario, the vote has just started. I've cast my ballot. I don't think I have to confirm with anyone here what my position is, but it is nay. So, unfortunately, though, there's many progressive conservative MPPs, and it's not just those, but all MPPs, many MPPs, are only voting because they've been told to vote a certain way by their parties. We're supposed to have a representative democracy in this country, and that's where we represent the people that elect us. Right? What we have are a bunch of MPPs who represent their parties, and they don't represent the people that elect them.
And they represent corporations.
They represent what the interests of their parties are. And the interests of a party is always not people here, not their constituents. The interests of parties are to be re-elected.
And their jobs.
And they put their interest ahead of the public's interest. So it's exceptionally disappointing to me that there's 121 out of 124 MPPs that are elected who fall into that one category, that they do as their parties tell them to. Thankfully, we now have 3 MPPs, Belinda Karahalios, Roman Baber, and myself, who are...
Thank you, Randy, for everything you do.
And we're going to continue. In May of last year, there was 1 MPP who was voting against this. We've got 3. Hopefully today, we'll see some others break ranks. But I'm not going to hold my breath for it. But I know we continue to speak out. We continue to stand up and assert our freedoms. and not back down
Here, here.
from having our freedoms. We will win this battle that we're in. We will win this war that we're in. Freedom cannot be defeated if we stand up and assert ourselves. Thank you very much for being here. Keep standing up. Keep fighting back. Keep asserting your freedom.
Can you hear us?
Thank you, Randy.
Can you hear us inside?
I have no
Where are
idea.
you guys?
Yeah, but they're now in the boat. So they're in the
No.
lobby. So
Let Randy finish. Let him finish.
anyway, thank you very much. Let's see what the vote count is in another 30 minutes or so.
Can I ask what kind of argument did MPs offer against it?
MPPs don't offer arguments.
No.
They offer talking points that are handed to them by their party. There is no thinking. There's no thinking in that legislative assembly by 121 MPPs. Just like there is no thinking in our media, there is no thinking in the fear and the mob mentality that we've created in this society. And I'll say this, like, we have created tremendous amount of fear and panic. Let's not be surprised that people don't think rationally when they're in a state of fear and panic. 121 MPPs, including Doug Ford, is also in a state of fear and panic. And they can't think rationally. Thank you.
$3 million last year. That was good for $60 million this year. That is a what? A criminal?
Randy, can I just ask you a very quick question?
Sure.
Because you've been coming here for quite a while. How do you feel about all the demonic gargoyles or carvings on
Yeah.
the buildings?
You're not afraid of us?
No, I'm not afraid of
Oh,
you
the
guys.
Baphomet. The Baphomet.
Yeah, I don't know.
Baphomet.
I've really noticed them
The
today.
devil horn. It's on the building.
Inside the legislature, there is a great
It's an
number.
absolute shit show.
Please.
Inside the legislature, there is a great many historical and important inscriptions in there. On one side of the house, there is an owl,
Right.
and that owl represents to be wise and to listen.
Right.
That's my
On the
wife.
other side of the house is an eagle
Okay.
to represent the importance of being ever vigilant.
Freemasonry.
Right.
Right? There's another inscription in Latin in the house that
Somebody
says,
stop them.
hear the other side. Hear the other side. And that's what is not happening in our democracy is nobody is listening to the other side.
We have demon
Right?
crazy.
That's right.
And but those democracy works well when it's permitted to operate the way it's designed. That members who are elected represent and speak on behalf of their constituents, not speaking talking points or what the party is demanding them to speak of. That's what we have to get through. It's all of us demanding that elected representatives actually speak and represent their constituents, not just their bloody damn party. Right? Thank you.
Can I say, Randy, we respect you and we thank you for everything you've done and are still doing.
Thank you. Keep standing, keep fighting.
Son in the
We
will.
will win this.
Randy,